we're walking through the security and this and that, and people are just staring. I can feel them staring, even though I can't see them.
The overall scheme of things, and if you look at that sort of time frame from a point of view of when you're born to when you die, that's only a very, very, very small part, or time of your life.
Thanks for tuning in. This has been Hermit Radio. All right, welcome back. Thanks for listening. This is Hermit Radio. I'm your host, Cameron. It's time to sit back, relax, and go to your happy place because it's Zen Time. I hope everybody had a good holiday, and I hope everybody's having a good New Year start. For me, I feel like I've been learning a lot the last couple weeks. I took some time off from making episodes because I didn't want to make something that is unworthy of your time. I wanted to make something that you guys would actually want to listen to and get something out of. So today's episode is going to be on mindfulness, but it's going to be a little bit more digging deeper. And I mean by digging deeper, I mean really going into a couple of ways to expand how you see mindfulness and how you're using it. For me, again, kind of like I talked about before, I went in with the thought process that it was just really meditation. And it is, but when you dig deeper and when you start reading about it and practicing, you can be meditating all day. Meditating isn't just sitting down with your eyes closed and being at peace and being quiet. It's honestly very difficult to describe for me, but it is a state of mind, in my opinion. It's just easier to focus on it when you're sitting still and being quiet. And some examples of that I'm going to cover mindful thinking, mindful walking, and mindful eating. Mindful thinking. I feel like this could be a pretty obvious thing, but it's sometimes the most obvious things that we miss. And that, for me, is mindful thinking. During my day, going about work and doing things, doing chores, talking to people, I find that it's very easy for me to lose my peace of mind when I get frustrated by something or distracted, and then I have to bring myself back to where I was and remember to be mindful. When you can do that repeatedly throughout the day, that's very impressive. That takes a lot of skill and a lot of practice, but with that practice comes a sense of peace that I can't describe, but it has really been a big part of my life in trying to be a better person. And when you're talking about these things, that's really what you're trying to do. You want to be a better person. We all want to be better people, but sometimes we just don't know how, and we don't even know where to start. And when you become self-aware, you realize, like, okay, wow, like, things in my life are not great, and I've been doing things that make me look bad, or I'm constantly bombarding myself with negative thoughts, or I'm not eating well, I'm not being mindful of my eating. All of that can be wrapped up into mindful thinking. It really just starts with having positive thoughts and trying to have positive thoughts more than you have negative thoughts. You could argue with this point of view all you want, but if you have to argue with it, then it's not going to work for you anyways. It's not something to be forced. It's not even it's not a religious practice either. This is part of Buddhism, but this is not like a manuscript for a religious practice. Buddhism is a way of life. And these things that they talk about, it's the same thing. You don't have to call yourself a Buddhist to enjoy meditation or being mindful or doing yoga. These are just tools to help you live your life. So when you're aware of your thinking and you can keep those thoughts positive more than you have negative ones, that's going to help. And then repeated behaviors lead to good behaviors, which become practices that are just natural part of your life. Another part of that is mindful walking. Let me paint you a quick picture. We've all seen that person at work who constantly looks like they're in a panic and they're always moving very quickly with a purpose. 2 points of view. One, from the person who sees that person. Think about what that does to your mind. That automatically is causing you anxiety just by seeing that. Oh man, why are they walking so fast? Like, where are they going? Why do they always look so panicked? Those thoughts lead down the trail of negative thoughts and negative thinking, and it creates anxiety. Whether you know it or not, it's doing it. And that doesn't mean that people who walk fast are always going to do that. It's just being aware of it. Second point of view, being the person who is constantly walking fast and trying to get somewhere really quickly in a hurry. You are doing that because you have a strong sense of purpose, and there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes it's okay to just slow down and be where your feet are. Remember what you're doing. When you're walking, there's nothing wrong with just letting your mind be at peace like that. It's like, this is where the meditation part comes in. When you're walking, not only are you walking, but you're thinking about what you're going to need to do tomorrow and the next week after that, and tonight what you're going to cook for dinner. Walking is always a time, for at least for me, it's for me to have thoughts and think about my next move in my day. Try just thinking about walking. And as you're walking, try to make a rhythm with your breathing. Every couple steps in, every couple steps you take a breath in, every couple steps you take a breath out. And just slow down. Be in the moment. Notice your surroundings, but be aware that you're walking and what you're doing. That by itself, in my life, has helped with anxiety big time. I am that person all day long. I try to be quick wherever I'm going. And I just recently started slowing myself down and thinking about it and just enjoying the process. Last one, mindful eating. Now, I don't necessarily mean mindful eating as in like you have to eat good. Yes, you should, and it does kind of cover that. But what I really mean in its deeper root is when you're eating your food, before you even start, do you ever think like what that food is supposed to be doing for you? Of course not. Probably not. Like, at least for me, when I first read about this, I was like, what are they talking about? I don't understand. But when I figured it out, it was beautiful. Like, sitting down, looking at your food before you eat it. Some people pray to be thankful for the meal, which I think is beautiful. But then also, what if you just looked at the meal and acknowledged that it's for a purpose and it's to nourish your body, and you're grateful for the fact that you have it, whatever it is, whether it's a bowl of ice cream or a salad, you're grateful for it being in front of you to nourish your body and to give you energy. Now you might be thinking like, who cares? Why do you need to do that? You don't need to do that. But for me, that was one of the most beautiful things I've ever read, was just that moment. And I will describe it to you here. It was one of my favorite authors, Thich Nhat Hanh, in his book. He was talking about mindfulness while eating a tangerine. And he describes peeling the tangerine and smelling the citrus, juices as he was peeling the tangerine. And he says, I just enjoyed the smell. I enjoyed the process of peeling it. And then you enjoy eating it. And you have the appreciation for it because it's going to nourish your body and it's for a purpose, and he enjoys every step of it. I can tell you so many times in my life, at least, I don't do that. I don't enjoy the food in the moment. I'm just eating it, and I catch myself all the time thinking, "Dang, I didn't even enjoy that because I ate it so fast." Just again, like the walking, just slow down. Just think about it. Use your mind to enjoy it. And when you can start doing that to at least these three things, you can do it to everything. You'll notice that you'll be able to just enjoy every moment around you for what it is. Like beautiful artwork, your life will become art, and you'll enjoy. So many times I'm walking around outside just going somewhere, and if I'm able to and I can be mindful, I look at my surroundings and I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Like there's maybe some art or something nearby that I see that I've just never noticed before, and I can enjoy it that much more now. Or even just nature itself. I find myself in love all the time with my surroundings because there's just so much to see, and it never feels the same. Even though it might just be trees or grass or a sunset or a sunrise, it never feels the same, and it always feels like a new moment, and it's beautiful. And I try to take pictures of it and just remember that. And for me, this has brought my life from a negative standpoint all the way to living in a life where every moment I find joy and positivity. So I hope you guys enjoy that. And if you have questions, feel free to reach out to me and ask me those questions. I will definitely be trying to have regular episodes, but the whole point of this podcast is to bring peace and joy and relaxation. I am not going to make this something that causes me stress or joy or pain, because I'm not making any money off of it, and that's not the purpose and reason why I made this podcast. So if it becomes a little irregular, I apologize, but I will always try to keep you updated on when new episodes will be coming out. But otherwise, have a great day.